studio here at React Physical Therapy in Deerfield, and this is Bianca. She's going to help us demonstrate a strength training program. So this is something that you can do on your off days from running and kind of keep your whole body strong and ready to go. So let's get started here. First thing she's going to do is a squat. So first she'll show you with no weight or anything, just a regular squat. It's a good whole body exercise. She's hinging first from her hip and then bending the knees as well, but not letting her knees go too far forward. Also not letting her knees buckle inward together. You can do a couple things to make this harder. You can grab a weight, hold it close to your body, in front of you. Good. Or you can also take a TheraBand and put it right above your knees, give you some extra tension that way and engage the glutes. So here you can go ahead and pause, do 3 sets of 10 squats. And then next exercise is going to be a rear foot elevated split squat. So it's a little bit harder variation of a squat. All you need here is a surface. So here we have a bench. You can use a chair or a sofa. Put the back leg up, and then you're going to bend down, squat down with the front leg. You want to keep your trunk pretty upright. You want to keep your hips symmetrical so you're not tipping the back hip backward too much. And then just like the other squat, you want to make sure your knee is kind of tracking, like aiming for your mid to outer toes, not buckling in. So do the other side as well. And for these, you can go ahead and do 3 sets of 8 on each side. Same thing, if you want to make it harder, add a weight. Go ahead and pause there. All right, next exercise we're gonna do, we'll do a hip thrust. So again, we need a little bit elevated surface. This is a great glute exercise. So all you need to do is set up with your shoulder blades and upper back on the surface, feet hip width apart. What you wanna do is thrust up, squeeze your glutes until your back is in a straight position, but not beyond that, so just like a tabletop. And you wanna make sure that your shins are perpendicular to the ground at the top of the motion. So if they're a little bit too far out or in, it might affect how much you feel your glutes working at the top. For this one, again, if you have a weight or if you're at the gym and you can add a barbell, you can add that over the hips. You could also add a band above the, right above the knees again. So the next step with this one would be a single leg variation. So just taking one leg out, you can kind of rest on the ground and you're focusing on the one leg. So you'll feel that isolation in the left glute here. The right leg is kind of just resting further out, not doing the work. So go ahead and pause here. Let's do 2 sets of 10 double leg and 2 sets of 5 single leg. So you can pause there. And our next exercise, we'll move on to some core. We're gonna go to the floor for this one. And Bianca's gonna demonstrate a plank variation. We're gonna go between a high plank and a forearm plank. So she's got a good plank, stomach's not sagging and she's not pushed up too high. And she's just kind of stepping up and down from the forearm position to the high plank position. She's not letting her hips tip too much side to side as she does this. Go ahead and pause here. Do 3 sets of 8 of this. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is a lat pull down. So a little bit of an upper body back exercise here. So the tools you would need for this one is a long TheraBand or Rogue band, and then any kind of dowel that's sturdy enough not to break on you. So a broom could work. So with the tension centered in the middle of the stick here, Bianca has her arms straight, elbows totally straight. She's gonna use her lat muscles to pull down without letting her shoulder blades shrug up towards her ears. Good. And she's doing this in a kneeling position. You can also do it standing. If you don't have the dowel, you can actually just grab the sides of the bands and pull down in a similar motion, but just gripping the band instead. I'll show you that. So we'll pause here. You can do 3 sets of 10 of this exercise. Next one we're gonna do will be a single arm row. So she's gonna bend slightly from her hips, but her back is still in a neutral position. And then she's gonna row back using her back muscles mostly by pinching her shoulder blade onto her back. So again, she's using a weight here. You can start with using a small weight. If you don't have a weight, you can also do this with a TheraBand. So let's pause here. Let's do 3 sets of 8 single arm rows. The last exercise we'll do here is one more core exercise. We're gonna go on the floor on the back. We're gonna do some dead bugs. So, starting position will be hands straight up in the air with palms facing down, and then knees up in the air as well at a 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee. So Bianca's going to alternate taking one arm and one leg away. So it should always be the opposite arm and leg. And the key here is to make sure that your core is steady throughout. We don't want to see or feel the low back arching off of the floor there. So let's pause here and do 3 sets of 6 to 8 dead bugs on each limb. All right. Thank you, Bianca, for demonstrating our at-home strength training workout for runners.